Hi guys, today we're outside Carl Rosner Triumph in Sanderstead. We've come to try a Triumph Scrambler 400X, but while we're here we might as well have a look at what else they've got in stock, mightn't we? I do like these Speed Twin 1200s. They do look good. Bit of gold and black with the O-Lings as well. Oh, very nice. With the Trident, I did mention the Trident a little while ago actually in one of my videos, might be worth checking out. The bobber, I do like these as well. I just wish the tank was a little bit more different to your standard Triumph Bonneville. I wish they'd done something a little bit more different with that, but apart from that I absolutely love that bike. And the quintessentially British Triumph Bonneville T120 black, that does look good, doesn't it? That is a nice spec bike as well. I do like that. And we're going for the Tigers here as well. I did do a trip recently on a Triumph Tiger. Very good bike, very powerful, very smooth. Daytona 660, a little bit more comfortable for your sort of sports type bike, which is the way we seem to be going at the moment. So yeah, it's a very interesting bike, I do like those. So yeah, they've got quite a bit in stock at the moment at Carl Rosner. Yeah, so Carl Rosner are based in South Croydon in the UK, obviously, if you're watching from the UK, but if you're not, so we're just in South London sort of area, so we're just opposite Sanderstead train station. So if you did want to come and test ride a bike, or you're coming to pick a bike up, then very easy to get to. Right guys, so we're just up in the used section of Carl Rosner Triumph. Some lovely stuff. I really like these Z900 RS. Having a 2/750 triple, this would make a nice addition and something reliable, unlike that bike that has cost me thousands and is incredibly unreliable and incredibly scary at the same time. So same here with the Multistrada. I love these. I did a long trip to France on one of these. I thought it was one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden. So yeah, they've got a great selection of stock down here. Obviously a lot of used Tigers and whatever else as well. They do look good for an adventure bike. I find it hard to find the looks of adventure bikes particularly exciting, but the Tigers do look nice. This is a good looking bike as well, the F900. That is immaculate, it's like new. So if you want something a little bit bigger than the 400 Scrambler, oh, they've got a very nice 900 Scrambler, and that is the colour I'd have it in as well. Beautiful. Great looking bike, the 1200 Scrambler. So this is the new section in Carl Rosner Triumph. Really great selection of stock. I think this has to be one of my favourite colours. That is an absolute weapon in the old Tiger Sport. Yeah, Triumph are coming out with some funky colour schemes, which I'm really liking at the moment. Right, let's get outside and get on the bike. Right, I think that's enough of my waffling, guys. Oh, that reminds me as well, I need to pick up my wheels from here today. I've just had new tyres put on the BMW K1, so BMW K1 wheels replaced, brand new tyres, which is nice. It hasn't had new tyres since 2000 apparently. It's obviously, if you haven't seen the video, then go check it out. It was the barn find BMW K1. Right, but enough of that. We are here to test ride the new Triumph Scrambler. Well, it's not new anymore, is it? I'm a little bit late off the bat with that, but the Scrambler 400X. I must say, I love the specification of this one. Flat green with a sort of browny red seat. I think that looks the absolute business. I really like that. So first impressions, it looks very well made. I mean, you've got to remember this bike's £5,800 new. I mean, if I was being fussy, I'd love wire wheels, but obviously for that sort of budget, you're not going to get them. I do love the grille front here as well. That looks really cool. I'm not sure if that's an extra or not. I have to check that. I doubt it. I would have thought that probably comes with it for their Scrambler look. So yeah, first impressions, it doesn't look too small considering it's a 400. So Yes, I like the exhaust as well. That sort of, and what I like about it is upswept. That new BSA Scrambler has the exhaust coming straight out, and it just looks, I don't know what design, I thought that was a good look, but it should be upswept like that, and I like that. That's the way it should look. Yes, so first impressions are positive. It's quite a tall bike, which I like. So yeah, I can easily flat foot. But if you're a little bit longer in the leg, then you don't actually need to pull all the clutch in for this one, apparently. But as you can see, we haven't got a massive TFT screen like all the bikes that we see sort of going this way. We've got a standard looking speedo with a little digital sort of clock in there, which I like. It's more original looking. That I am a fan of. As I say in all these videos, it's probably boring to hear, I try not to read reviews. I try not to, or try not to watch reviews. See, I'm old school. I'm from the days where you still bought magazines and read about bikes, so yeah, that's me showing my age. But yeah, as I say, I try not to watch or read any reviews about bikes before I've actually ridden it myself, because as I always say, I think that can just put you into sort of you know, someone else's opinion. So yes, if you haven't seen, I test rode recently the Honda GB350, which I absolutely loved. So if you haven't seen that video, it's doing very well at the moment on YouTube, so check that out. To be honest, you can't compare these two. That's not a fair comparison. That bike's £3,949, this is £5,800, and this is a Scrambler. So I'm not going to go down that route of trying to compare them. I mean, you could, you know, really more put the Triumph Speed 400 up against that more, but still, you're talking budget-wise quite a bit over that. So I'm not going to fall into that trap of comparing the two. I'm just going to take it for what it is today, and I love Scramblers. I absolutely love Scramblers. You know, the old Triumph Scrambler, and I mean, I had the carb version, or the 900 carb version years ago, which I really liked. I just liked how cool it was, you know. I mean, that's the optimum of cool, is a Triumph, in fairness. If you want something that looks cool, I mean, if you ever see any sort of photo shoots of someone, you know, sprawled over a bike in the UK, 9 times out of 10 it's a Triumph. First impressions of the brakes, yeah, a little bit spongy if I'm being a little bit fussy, but they do the job. It's actually got more oomph than I thought it did. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping, shall we? So this is 40 horsepower with a similar torque, around about, I think it's 39 pounds-feet of torque. I think it's around about 178 kilos, I think. It's really comfortable. It's like it's designed for me and my height. As I say, if you're a little bit short in the leg, then the speed might be a little bit more up your street, but I love these handlebars as well. Really high up, actually higher up than you'd expect, and I love it. That's my, if I was to choose, this is exactly how I'd have the bars. So yeah, there's no complaints there. It's definitely got a nice amount of grunt as well, more than enough for around town riding, but we will open her up a bit and see what she can really do. I'll tell you a bit of a boring story when we come down this road, actually. Well, it's not actually that boring, but when we'll get there, I'll discuss that. But yeah, I love the gold with the green, and it's sort of like an old English white type stripe there as well, which with the black, it's a well thought out bike. As I say, I mean, I love spoked wheels on this type of bike, but it's just not a viable thing at the price point. But the cast wheels look good. Obviously this is A2 license friendly as well. Oh, imagine just passing your test and going to buy one of these. So it's got the usual accoutrements, ABS, traction control, all that good stuff. Yeah, so down this road, when I was 16, I was on a Gilera DNA 50, and I was coming on the outside of traffic. I think it was around about here or a little bit further in front, and the traffic was all backed up, and I was coming on the outside, and someone decided to do a U-turn in a little rascal van, and ended up hitting into the side of me and breaking my knee in 2 places. So I have 2 massive bolts in my leg because of that, so thank you, Mr. Driver. but it was deemed a 50-50 because I was filtering. So there you go. Look at that, she filters like a babe. After telling that story, it's all of a sudden put me a little bit off of filtering for the second. Funny that, isn't it? So yeah, I spent, I don't know how long in hospital. It's at least a week, maybe a little bit longer, I can't remember. It's massively painful, like you wouldn't believe. That and kidney stones. I had a kidney stone once as well, and that was right up there in pain. I think that was actually, in fairness, probably more painful than breaking my knee, believe it or not. There you go. An interesting fact for you. Yes, the clutch is nice and light. Not quite as light as the Honda variants have been changing at the moment, but again, that's a subjective thing. Some people prefer a bit slightly heavy. It's not heavy. It's just Hondas are exceptionally light. So yeah, it's not heavy by any. So don't quote me wrong on that. It's very light, but yeah, Honda, I don't know what they're doing at the moment, but yeah, they're extremely light with their clutches, and I like that. But again, that's not for everyone. We're going to take it for a little bit of a country blast. I'm feeling a little bit country. I love the softness of the suspension, and the seats is comfortable. I've been test riding a lot of bikes at the moment that have very hard, very uncomfortable seats, and this is an absolute joy. An absolute joy in comfort. Alright, let's give it a little bit of a tickle down here. I didn't drop down at all, I just rolled on the throttle as it was. Yeah, there's more than enough power to have fun. This is the old adage, as I normally say, is it's, you know, great to have a bike that hasn't got so much oomph that it's riding you, you're riding it, right? It's always great to ride a slow bike fast and a fast bike slow, and this isn't slow by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, you have to use it all, which is what I like. You know, we all want something with 180, 200 horsepower, but you know, and I'm bored of saying it, and I'm bored of hearing it, but you can't use it on the road. I don't care how good you think you are or how good you ride, you can't use it on the road, because it's not just you, you know, it's everyone else. It's, you know, by the time you're giving it enough of the beans, you're coming to a side road where you're worried if someone's going to pull out, or you're going so fast that by the time someone's looked left to look right, they've pulled out. And then you're right on the anchors and right up their chuff if you're lucky, you know. So, and let's be honest, in the UK we have awful roads. I must say a big thank you to Becky as well at Carl Rosner. Becky was the person I spoke to and dealt with when sorting out a test ride for this bike, and yeah, she couldn't have been any nicer or friendlier. Really nice person. So yeah, that's Becky. All the team in Carl Rosner, very friendly, all very knowledgeable. I mean, Carl Rosner's been going for years and years. I've been using them for Triumph parts when I've got a bike in that needs some work. Yeah, they are reasonable when it comes to pricing. Right, yes, so here we come down, yeah, all these stony rubbish roads. If you're on a sports bike, this is a sports bike's worst dream. Obviously we're not on a sports bike, which is fantastic news. Yeah, I don't get a lot of feel from the front brake. I mean, that may be sort of changeable with changing the pads, but they do the job. It's just a feel thing. There's no issue with them, they just don't feel as and again, that may be a subjective thing. I like a front brake to be a bit grabby, you know, so yeah, so for these little roads, oh, the suspension is a delight down here. These are really bumpy. I don't think the camera will be showing that particularly well, but yeah, they're bumpy and they're just a little bit rubbish. I can't get over the comfort of this bike. I could ride this all day. It's a nice number plate. Yeah, so this is about as off-road as I'll be doing today, guys, but yes, the horse manure in the road, excellent. Let's try not to get that on the bike, because I feel sorry for the poor person that has to clean it after. So these are scramble roads, right? This is what it's designed for. The little back lanes that are a little bit stony, a little bit gravelly. Yeah, these are dreadful roads. And she's an absolute darling on them. Now, does it feel like an off-road bike? Well, I'm comparing it to like a CRF or a KTM 350, which is not a comparison. We will wait for the horsey. I wouldn't feel comfortable on anything other than a Scrambler type. But what was I saying before? Oh yeah, about the Honda CRF and KTM. They're not comparisons. They're not. So, you know, don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is that obviously they're full off-road bikes. And obviously, when between green lanes, when I use a bike like that, the big knobbly tyres are just not confidence inspiring at all on these sort of roads. And between green lanes, you do have to ride on this sort of roads. And yeah, it's not fun. But something like this, you could do, you know, some very light green laning right on the anchors now. Yeah, they do miss a little bit of feel if I'm being fussy. That's my only real gripe at the minute. And it's not a massive one. Right, we go left here. The gearbox is really nice. And I mean really nice. It's sort of a Winchester rifle type. Click, click, click. I've ridden a few of my own bikes recently as well, like the BMW, the K1, and obviously it's an older bike. It's a low mileage bike, but it's older, and there's just no positivity from the gear change. With this, it's very positive. Down the gears and up the gears, just like that. It's a real click in. It's not a, you know, that sort of wet handshake feel. You know, is it? It's, you know, that's what some bikes feel like, and I hate that. I love a clonk straight in like this does. Because as I always say in all my videos, you know, I tend to like to use bikes just as I would use them, as I test ride them, as I'd use them, you know. And these are local roads to me, and this is how I would use a bike. Right, they were some gnarly back roads there, and it gobbled them up. They're onto a bit of a more of a flowing stretch of road that I like to bring bikes down to, because it's a faster road, but it's still a little bit rubbish in quality. This bike just feels like it's egging you on. It just gives you that confidence to lean on it a bit. Oh, fly tippers. The worst type of people are fly tippers. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Fly tipping. Awful. People even dropping cigarette butts, that's enough to send me over the edge. Obviously I'm getting a bit of wind buffeting because we've got no screen on here at all. So yeah, the mic might be a little bit loud on this point, or you might feel like I'm shouting, so apologies if that is the case. But you can get an aftermarket screen and all that sort of stuff. So if you were doing any motorway stuff, which is a little bit unlikely, but if you are and you need to do one on your commute or whatever reason, then I'd probably suggest a screen. I mean, even a small screen would probably give you enough wind deflection. That's with my visor down now. Yeah, so I'm getting a little bit of wind buffeting, but not too bad. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of dual carriageway type stuff. Alright, okay, we're in third gear. Let's do a little bit of a pull and see how she gets up here. Oh, she goes. Over those horrible tram lines as well, she was smooth as butter. Giving you the full 9 yards with this review. As I say, we're going to head into somewhere a little bit more built up, which is the beautiful town of Croydon. I should probably be using camouflage. Lucky thing the bike's green, so they probably think martial law's been reinstated in Croydon. I just need to paint MP on the side of this tank. If people start throwing stones at us in Croydon, we can just pretend we're green laning. Or if I did that on anything else, I think I would have knackered a fork seal. She just soaks the bumpage up. And apparently this returns around 70 to 80 miles per gallon. I think quoted figures are a little bit higher than that, but I think it is around the sort of 70, 75 mark, which is incredible. That is cheap motoring. The thing is with this bike, it's very consistent power-wise. You know, some bikes you have sort of more low-down grunt than you do sort of top end. This is sort of stable throughout the power band, so it's a very smooth linear power. So if you are new to motorcycling, you know, you're not going to rip the throttle back and, you know, end up, you know, on your backside. I mean, it doesn't really have the power for that anyway, but I mean, it's not juddery power, it's smooth, it's linear, which is nice. It's definitely something you want if you're new to motorcycling, or if you just want something really smooth. Yeah, I'm quite impressed by that. The fueling is really, really good, on point. I can't stand a snatchy throttle, and this is not one of those. Yes, I've sold many Triumphs throughout the years, and in fairness, they are made very well. They are. There's no toing and throwing with that. They are a premium brand. Right, we're coming into Croydon. Concrete jungle where dreams are made. I think Alicia Keys sung a song about Croydon. I could be wrong. Right, yeah, we're coming to Croydon town now. The standards of driving massively begin to slip around here. And when I mean massively, I mean there aren't really any standards. So we are going to be very careful around here. I want you to get a little bit of town riding in for your viewing pleasure. Alright, we can't go up that way now, they've obviously blocked it all off. It's been a while since I've come into the centre of Croydon, for obvious reasons. Taking the view, guys. It's incredibly 60s in some parts, like the Nestle building. And we've got the Blue Orchid nightclub near us as well, so a few of you of a certain age will we have a few stories from that venue. Probably many you wouldn't want to share. I don't blame you. I have frequented that establishment many times when I can't say underage because that would be illegal, but I was 16 going into that club, so I was probably about 19, so yeah, 3 years of the Blue Orchid. Where is she? Oh, she's up here. Yeah, so comment if you've ever been to the Blue Orchid in Croydon. It's been shut for many, many years, 20 odd years now, but that's where it was. Windows all smashed, graffiti everywhere. Ah, just like it was 20 years ago. Oh, yeah, CBF 125, Christ. I know loud pipes save lives, but it's giving me earache. I can actually feel it vibrating down the road. Oh, what's this? White tents. That's always a bit worrying in Croydon. Just pretend you didn't see anything. First rule of Croydon: don't talk about Croydon. Do you know, the seating position is so good I can see everything. That's what I like. That's famous last words, isn't it? That's tempting fate by saying that, but I can. It does give you confidence in sketchy environments that you can see everything. Yeah, so feet you can easily get flat down. I'm just a smidge under 6 foot. Well, that's what I tell everyone anyway. But yeah, if you're a little bit of a short leg, I think you'll still be fine. It's just nice because when you do put your feet down, you're stretching your legs as well. They're not bent all the time, which is kind of nice for me. You know, when you're driving down the motorway and you're stretching your legs constantly, well, here you don't have to do that so much, which is nice. I've taken you on a lovely ride of Croydon today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, so if you want to spend a holiday here, maybe 2 weeks in West Croydon takes your fancy. I know some good doorways. I mean, I joke about Croydon a lot, but I mean, I've lived here pretty much all my life. I had a stint of living in Wimbledon for a couple of years when I was working for a company where I had to be in the office quite a bit, where now I don't have to be. So yes, Croydon has its downsides, but also has some major pluses. So however much I jest about it, it isn't all bad. No wonder what the papers will tell you or any of that. I'm a big advocate for Croydon. I just wish the council were. But again, I'm getting political, guys. Change the subject. I remember driving down this road 20 years ago, and there was a woman laying in the middle of the road. Absolutely hammered. I had to pull over my car onto the pavement over there, run over, pick her up and take her to a safe place, and all the time she was threatening to beat me up. She probably has no recollection of that whatsoever. But yeah, she was literally laying in this lane here, in the middle of the road. So, yes, those are the sort of things you come across. Alright, we're going to go... So it feels like you're going absolutely crazy, but you're not. You're going to the speed limit, which I love. You know, if I was on something with a lot more power, I mean, it's just a twitch of the throttle and then that's it. You know, you're going mind-bending speeds, and you're looking at, you know, standing in front of a judge if you get caught for doing it. I really like this little bike. It handles like a dream. It's a little dream boat, but nothing's perfect. So what isn't perfect, and what would I change? It's the brake feel, and then in the rear is a little bit spongy as well. So yeah, brake feel I think is my biggest gripe, but I think that's changeable with pads. That's the only thing I can really think of that I'm not a major fan on. Everything else I absolutely love. And if I was an A2 licensed rider, would I be in the market? I mean, it's, you know, £5,800 still is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's. I know there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, that's cheap, you know, cheap bike under £6,000." Well, A2 license holder. I can't say it's, you know, massively cheap, but it is value for money, and that's what matters, right? It's value for money. And Triumphs are pretty good on the old depreciation front as well, so it's a false economy sometimes when you sort of seeing these other cheaper bikes that don't hold their value. You end up losing more in the long run anyway. I mean, everyone loves like a sort of, you know, a 70s, 80s, or, you know, converted 90s sort of Scrambler S that someone's converted, but let's be honest, they're normally put together by absolute amateurs, and they're not reliable. You know, it's not a usable bike. So guys, is there anything else in the Triumph range you'd like me to test ride? They've got a good few demo selection down at Carl Rosner Triumph. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you'd like me to test ride. I live very close to Triumph, so it's no issue for me in to jump on one and give you my opinion. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I've really enjoyed this. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. You know, have you got one, and what do you think of it? I'd be really interested to know. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, as everybody says, because the subs help me massively. After you. I think we've just caught the weather. Excellent. Another quick walk around in case I've forgotten anything. It's a single disc on the front. Burberry calipers. Okay. I can't say I've heard of those. Yeah, so all the engine fins and whatever else are all really well machined and really nice. And the finish as well on these welds, you'll probably hear me talk about this on bikes. But the welding finish is really nice. I really like that. Yeah, see the finish and the detailing is really good. Yes, I like this, like the brush sort of steel chrome effect. Little luggage rack on the rear here, which is really handy. An impressive little bike for £5,895 or whatever it is, 5.9. Yeah, a little sort of brushed sort of aluminium steel looking front. That is plastic, but it looks like steel, which is good. If stone chip hits a steel one, you're going to have a little dint in there, and that's going to annoy you. And I like the way the radiator isn't massive as well. It's like a thin, low profile job, which doesn't need massive cooling for the size of the engine. Yes, a very impressive little bike, which I would highly recommend. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff.